So Chris, if you were to start your fitness journey again, what is it you do? Now this is a really good question. Today, I'm gonna talk you guys through exactly how I would approach my fitness journey if I was literally just starting out and wanting to get into incredible shape, okay? So we're gonna go through 1 to 5. Now the first thing that I would do is I would sort my nutrition out. Now, I wouldn't even step foot in a gym. I wouldn't even go to the gym until I actually grasped what I needed to do with my diet, because it is essentially a waste of time, okay? You aren't gonna get paid for the work you do in the gym until you've actually sorted out your nutrition. There's no point, apart from feeling maybe a little bit better and, getting a burn and burning a few calories, which is gonna be pretty minimal anyway, it's gonna be very, very slow. So the first thing that I would do right away is start educating myself properly on nutrition, okay? I would actually try and find out a little bit more about what I need to be doing, calorie deficit, calorie surplus, what is the right approach for me to use. Now, essentially, I'm gonna talk you through what that would be and exactly what I would kind of do for that particularly. So in terms of sorting my nutrition out, I would make sure I was eating the right foods, okay? The right foods are foods that are unprocessed, foods that are natural, foods that have been, coming out the ground. And I would really try and minimize the processed foods as much as possible. Now, I wouldn't totally cut them out of my diet because I think that's unsustainable. And, I think that there is gonna be an element where you hit breaking point and you just end up kind of, binging, and then it becomes this kind of binge restrict cycle. But I would essentially try and make sure that 80 to 90% of the food that I was eating, it was good quality food. It was decent. It made me feel good. It provided me with a lot of energy. It filled me up. This is exactly what I would need to do, okay? And I would probably start off my calories at around 10 to 12 calories per pound if my goal was fat loss, okay? Now I'm gonna move on a little bit in terms of how I'd approach, the kind of phases. But most people starting out would need to probably lose some body fat first. It's difficult in my situation because, I'm gonna put some photos up on the screen now. I was always a very skinny teenager, okay? So, I always had abs. I don't think I'll ever lose abs, at some point potentially, probably not. But for me, I just started eating straight away, okay? So for me, it was just about putting myself straight into, a calorie surplus and building muscle, because I never had to go through that initial fat loss phase. I was never really, kind of chubby kid at any point. And because I started my fitness journey so early, I just kind of went straight into like building muscle and didn't really have to lose the fat. But if I was kind of in, my mid 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, and, maybe I was just starting out and wanting to get to my absolute best shape, probably would start by putting myself in the calorie deficit. And that would be, as I say, around 10 to 12 calories per pound, or just use a calorie calculator below, which I'm going to link, use our FitLab one. And that's going to give you more of an accurate measure in terms of whereabouts you should be eating in terms of calories. So I do this, and the second thing I do is I'd make sure that I was consuming enough protein, okay? So essentially, if you're going to the gym and you're not consuming enough protein, you're not gonna build much muscle. It's gonna be slow progress. Protein is the king macronutrient when it comes to muscle gain, fat loss, everything that we kind of need to do within the human body. So we want to be getting enough of that in. Now, essentially, I'd be aiming for probably about 1 gram of protein per pound of my body weight, or around 2 grams of protein per kilo of my body weight. This is like an easy way to work that out, okay? So essentially, if you're an 80 kilo guy, you're gonna be aiming for about 160 grams of protein roughly, okay? So when I've got my calories in check, when I've got kind of right amount of protein in check, that's a really good starting point for nutrition. Then I'm gonna be making sure that I'm, consuming 80 to 90% of nutrient dense, unprocessed food. Pretty much got my nutrition off to a really good start. So this alone is gonna help me make a lot of progress in the gym, okay? So that would then move me on to number 2. Number 2 is I'd get my ass down the gym and I would literally start pumping iron and lifting weights. I would not waste any time doing cardio at this current point. Depending on obviously what you're currently doing, you might maybe, be playing some kind of sport or doing cycling or maybe like going for runs. But if I was just starting out, I would be straight into the weights area and I would start learning how to lift weights. Now, probably even consider getting myself, a face-to-face gym personal trainer, potentially just for the first couple of months, just so that I actually was doing it properly and I wasn't worried about my form being shit and getting some kind of injury. Potentially that's an option that you could take. But I would start lifting weights properly. I would start going to the gym and I would probably be doing this at least 3 days per week. I wouldn't be going anything less than that, because essentially it's going to be just slow rate of progress. And I never really want to do things half-assed. If I'm going to do something, I want to do it properly. And I think 3 days per week for a guy or a girl to get in shape and lift weights, it's going to be enough for you to see a big difference of your physique, okay? And I would make sure that I was hitting each muscle group twice per week. I would not be doing a bro split. Now, full transparency, I started doing bro splits. Everyone did. They were a massive thing back in the day. Like 10 years ago, everyone was doing, chest day, arms day, back day. And, some people still do that. But knowing what I know now, I would not be wasting my time doing these like bro splits, just making very slow progress. I would be making sure that every single session I was hitting multiple muscle groups, push days, pull days, upper days, lower days. So I was actually getting the most out of my training, because science shows in terms of building muscle and improving body composition, improving hypertrophy, essentially, you have to be training a muscle group more frequently, okay? You can't just be doing it once per week if you are a natural lifter. Kind of is a different ball game if you obviously are enhanced, but for natural lifters, you want to be hitting each muscle group at least twice per week. Then, the most important thing when it comes to training is I'm making sure I was getting stronger, okay? I have to be going to the gym knowing this is what I did last week and this is what I need to improve on, okay? I have a logbook, I use my phone. There's loads of tracking apps on your phones that you can use, to make sure you're logging your weights properly. The notes on your phone are really effective, but I would be writing down, this is what I did this week. This is what, I'm gonna aim for the following week. And what you see is that in the first year, 2 years of your training, you have the most incredible gains, these newbie gains that your body almost is like a sponge and it just kind of sucks in like all the kind of momentum from training and all the response that you're giving it, and it just gives you this amazing kind of like uplifting change. Every single week you're lifting more weights, you're feeling better, and it's an incredible feeling. So the first year of training, like, you want to utilize this. The first 18 months you want to be hitting it so hard because you'll make so much progress. Now, I wasn't even doing it the right way, I was, as I say, making a few mistakes, but the amount of progress I still made within my first year of training, like, it was insane. I was lifting more weight every week. I was seeing differences in my muscles, my chest was growing, everything. And this is because I was getting stronger and I was pushing myself, and I was actually making sure that each week I was looking forward to my training, and I was logging my sessions, and I knew how I needed to improve. So this is what you have to do. That's how you train, okay? You actually make sure you get stronger. So that's point number 2. We've got our nutrition sorted, we've got the right approach in place, we know what we're doing, we're eating the right foods, and we then get our ass down the gym and we start lifting weights, we start pumping iron, and we start doing this at least 3 days per week to give the right responses and the right signals to our body so that we start building lean muscle, okay? You're not gonna build lean muscle from doing cardio. You do weights, you lift weights progressively, you do it consistently, you're gonna see the return on the way you look, you're gonna see muscles come out, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna look better. Now, on to number 3. This is where you start thinking about, like, what's the goal, okay? Because it's all well and good going to the gym and having a good nutrition plan and, having the right training program, but you actually need to have a goal set. Like, what are you trying to achieve? Are we trying to, work towards fat loss, bulking, cutting? Like, what is the goal? If you just go to the gym just like, I want to lose a little bit of fat and gain a bit of muscle, this is absolute BS. You're not going to make any progress. You need to be very direct in terms of, this is what I want to achieve, this is how I'm going to do it. So essentially, now for myself, as I said earlier on in this video, it's going to be a little bit different because I started, so skinny. I've never really had to go on like a really aggressive diet because I've just always naturally been lean. It's kind of a good thing, but it was also a bit of a bad thing because I had to eat a lot of food. So I'm going to kind of stick to, maybe say this from more of a broader perspective, because I know most people listening to this, if you're just starting out, you're probably not shredded, probably don't have a six pack. So I spend the first 12 weeks getting lean, at least 12 weeks, 16 weeks, maybe even 6 months, maybe even 12 months, however long it took. I would make that my absolute mission to get a 6-pack. I would make sure I got my abs to come right through where I was at least 10 to 12% body fat, okay? And that is pretty much having a 6-pack. This is what you need to do before you start building muscle, okay? If you start trying to build muscle straight away and go into this calorie surplus, you're just not gonna look great. It's as simple as that. You're just still gonna be a little bit chubby and you're not gonna look the way that you wanna look. So you wanna spend that first 12 weeks, 16 weeks, 20 weeks deficit, get the fat gone, get lean, get your stomach showing, get the abs showing, and then from there, you are in a really good position. So that should be the first initial goal of your fitness journey. And you should only really ever have to do one big diet once, okay? It shouldn't be something that you're having to do, all the time, going back and forth. This is what happens to most people. They lose weight, they gain it back, they lose weight, they gain it back, and they just keep struggling all the time. We just want to do the diet once, we do it properly, and then we get ourselves out of that, okay? That's step number 3. Step number 4, very simple. After we've got lean, we need to start building muscle, okay? We need to start adding lean muscle to our physique and actually getting stronger to get ourselves out of a calorie deficit. And this is where we can spend loads of time getting stronger in a gaining phase, putting on lean mass, okay? The reason why we want to do this after we've got lean is because you're just going to be in a much better and more responsive state where your body actually wants to gain muscle. Your body doesn't really want to gain muscle when you're like 20-25% body fat, okay? It's just sluggish. It doesn't work like that. You need to get lean first. Then your body's like, Jesus, like, I've been in a deficit for all this time. I feel a little bit deprived. Essentially your body thinks you're dying, right? Like, your body doesn't know you're just trying to look jacked. Your body thinks that you're kind of dying because you're not giving it enough food. So as soon as we then start increasing calories upwards and putting in a few more, like, we feel so much better. We've got, more energy, we build muscle faster, and it's exactly what we want in terms of the way that our body's going to respond. So when we've got lean, we then want to spend a really decent amount of time building muscle, getting stronger, getting out of a deficit, and actually from there, we can spend plenty of time in a lean gaining phase. And this is exactly what I did to build my physique, okay? I literally spent years building muscle. years eating 3.5, 4,000 calories per day to just keep adding muscle, went from 80 kilos to 85 kilos to 90 kilos to 95 kilos, which is where I'm sat at now, okay? Building muscle. You should be spending 80% of your year either building muscle or at maintenance. If you don't want to build muscle, you just want to look a little bit leaner and maintain maybe through the summer, you can stay at maintenance. Otherwise, you should be trying to build muscle. Obviously, there gets a point where you maybe don't want much more muscle, but that takes a long time to get to, because if you ask most guys or most girls, potentially maybe more guys, they're always going to be wanting to build more muscle. They want a bigger chest, bigger arms, you know, bigger back, whatever that might be. So we want to spend a long time doing that, okay? You get lean first, you build muscle after, and you can do that for years and years and years and years. And number 5, the last thing that I would do is I would go all in on this goal, okay? I would burn the ships, okay? I wouldn't let there be any part of me that wasn't in on this, okay? If you want to see something grow and flourish and take off, you have to be all in. You can't half-ass this, you know. We get people that join our program at FitLab sometimes, they have the best intentions, but they're just half in, they're half foul, they're still trying to go out of the weekend, they're still, you know, trying to spend time doing something that's not conducive towards their goals because they're trying to have balance. It doesn't work like that, okay? You have to spend at least 6 months, 12 months making it the absolute goal of yours to get in the best physical shape of your life, okay? To really, really make sure you get there. Nothing is going to stop you. You have to say no to nights out. You have to say no to distractions. You might have to go to the gym early in the morning when you don't want to. You need to make it your mission. And this is exactly what I did. I've dedicated years to my body. I've dedicated years to getting myself to a good place physically where I'm happy with the way that I look. I operate at a high standard, and that's exactly what you need to do. You don't want to do this half in, half out, because you are not going to get the incredible result. You burn the ships, there's no going back, and you just dedicate 12 months to upskill your knowledge, your education, your mindset, your discipline to a place that is going to see you be successful. Because when you have an incredible physique and you look good and you feel good, like, this is literally going to transform your life, okay? You will feel so much better every day. You look in the mirror of confidence, your dating life's going to improve, your work life's going to improve, you know, you're going to meet more people, you're going to have more confidence, you're not going to be shying away on holidays, you're not going to be keeping your shirt on. Everything is going to improve. So if you spend that first 12 months to just go all in with the goal, things are going to be absolutely magical afterwards. So this is what I would do. Now, the very, very, very last thing, now this is not a plug, this is being completely honest, I would make sure that I got myself a coach right from day one, because it's never been harder now to get in incredible shape, okay? So much contradicting and opposing information out there that just makes it so hard that for most people now, it's going to take so long to get to where you want to get to by yourself, okay? Because you don't know how to, you know, keep getting body fat off and what to make changes and how to get out the diet and go into a reverse diet and all these different things. It's difficult. I wouldn't know how to do it if I wasn't a, you know, fitness professional that's been doing this for absolutely years. So I would take the guesswork away and I just invest in myself, knowing that it is the best possible place that my money can go into, because it's about me, it's about my happiness, it's about my confidence that will literally transform my life in every single way. So I'd go out and I'd find a dedicated coach with consistent good results. I liked their content, thought they were, you know, very personable, and I would invest in myself. I wouldn't even think twice about the cost because I knew that it would be for the best thing. And essentially, you know, we get what we pay for in life. If we try and buy twice or, you know, buy cheap, we end up buying twice, right? So we want to make sure we find the right coach, the right person, we invest in ourselves, and we'll actually get there so much quicker, because everything that I've just spoken about, you are going to get there in so much less time if you have a coach, rather than you trying to do it yourself, where you're just going to be on and off making mistakes and making the guesswork. You just want to take the guesswork away. Now, it would be wrong of me to do a video like this and probably not put maybe a little bit more of a shameful plug-in. But if you're watching this and you do need a little bit of help, then we've just launched probably one of the best opportunities to come and work with us at FitLab ahead of the summer. Okay, we've got a 16-week program called Fit in 16. We've been thinking about for a long time. We've kind of contemplated on the idea. We decided to go all in with it to get people around the world in incredible shape in 16 weeks. You know, 12 weeks to diet them down and getting them looking great and seeing their six-pack and seeing their toned stomach, and then 4 weeks to get them out of the deficit, to get them to a place where they can actually maintain their physique and maintain it throughout the summer. So this is not going to be a better opportunity to join FitLab and get on board with us and just see how it works. You know, if you really, really don't like it, you can leave, essentially, okay? What's the worst thing that can happen? You do 16 weeks, it doesn't work out, which is very, very unlikely. Or think about the other end of the spectrum. You carry on what you're doing now, and you have another summer where you don't feel good, you keep your shirt on, you don't enjoy your holidays, you feel anxious about going away, and you're just never going to get the best out of life. So if you want to join Fit in 16, or you want a little bit more information about how Fit in 16 works, how we can help you, who we've helped in the past, just drop me a message on Instagram. Chris_FitLab is my best platform, or I'm going to leave an application underneath where you can fill that out, you can give me some information, and I'll get back to you straight away. And we'll maybe set up a call to see how we can help, how we can get you from A to B. And if the program sounds good, we can obviously talk through that as well. So these are the 5 steps I would take if I was starting out again on my fitness journey. Hope you found this video useful, guys. If you have, please make sure you're liking this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification for future fitness videos, and I'm going to catch you in the next video.